All right, a pause in the action on the Eric Zane Show podcast to talk about Factor. Okay, there was a time not that long ago where I would spend a lot of time on, let's say, a Sunday, like hours, getting food ready for the week, prepping so that I could have something ready to go in a nice, convenient container. Problem with that is I'd spend a whole Sunday doing it. It was expensive. And frankly, I was eating the same food all the time. So it's easy to figure that after a couple of weeks, I kind of gave up on that. Now, I remember at the time thinking it would be great if I could have food delivered to me. I don't have to lift a finger to make it, and it's prepared by chefs, and it's fantastic and so convenient and so delicious and fresh, never frozen. Voila! Factor. Look, I know you love supporting me. That's one of the key things that makes a podcast survive is when you support who's doing the show. I want you to just try this, and you are going to be so happy. Go to factormeals.com/Zane50. That's Zane50. And then use code Zane50, and you're getting this for 50% off. That's how badly I want you to try this, just so you can see how easy and convenient and awesome Factor is. That's code Zane50 at factormeals.com/Zane50 to get 50% off. Oh, and I'll include the link in the show notes of this podcast. This November, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes. No prep, no mess. You are eating amazing food. You're eating well. It's so fantastic. Again, factormeals.com/Zane50 and use code Zane50 to get 50% off. That's code Zane50 at factormeals.com/Zane50 to get 50% off. All right, and welcome to Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast, Black Friday edition. I don't even know why I date it by hey, it's Black Friday. Some of you won't even listen to this till like half a year later. Old radio habits die hard for your old pal, EZ. Well, anyway, welcome. Maybe just something for you to listen to as you're doing your sitting around, doing nothing. Hopefully you have the day off. Not everybody does, though. Damn it, that's a bummer. Son of a bitch. Anyway, enjoy Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. I think Amanda would be good at stand-up comedy. Because she's got that kind of like sass thing going on. She's super sassy. And she's not afraid to tell you to like shut the fuck up. I just realized that window's open. Oh boy. We're getting to that weird point in the year where, I don't want to put the air conditioner in the window. It's not that warm. But I want the window open. I got the fan in the window. But it's kind of like blowing it low. It's not really making a lot of noise. So if I yell out at the top of my lungs, shut the fuck up, my neighbors are gonna hear it. And these are super pious people. Okay, I don't need to talk this quiet. No, I do because if I'm talking about them, they may actually hear me. The The dad is Ned Flanders. He's hidely neighbor. And I mean, he is one disposition, godly. Very, very sweet. No amount of judgment whatsoever. I love this guy so much. Okay? His wife is awesome too. But you can tell she's not as hidely as he is. But they're still great. I love these people. Okay? We call them the Alleluias. And there was one moment in particular when Mrs. Alleluia, this is the lady named Karen. And she's kind of she got a little Karen-y when she moved in, okay? Because we got this floodlight that I'd let the dogs out, I'd turn the lights on. And the next day she's knocking at the door. Yeah, hey Karen, how are you? You think you could move that light? It shines right into our house. I'm like, oh, fuck. You're going to be a Karen, aren't you? This is before Karen was a thing. I was like, hey, Karen. And now she's like, got the name Karen. So I try not to make Karen jokes in front of Karen. What was I going to go with that? Jim, my son, I don't know how we got into this. Oh, okay. Jim, this is years ago. I was in Jim's car. I opened up the glove box because I had to put the new registration and insurance in there. And Jim's outside of the car, and I'm bitching at him about how messy the car is. And it turns out, so I open up the glove box, and I'm pulling shit out of it. Jim, what the hell, And then he had been given some religious material from Jeff Joush, who owns Striders. Jeff's hilarious because he'll like MRF you. He'll MF anybody, and then he'll say he's praying for you. He's that type of dude, okay? And I pull out this literature. I don't know. It's it's a one-sheeter or a pamphlet from some hand-clapping rock band church. And I go, what the hell is this? And he goes, oh, yeah, Jeff gave that to me. And I go, and it's right in the driveway. And they're standing right there. I have no idea they're standing right there. And I go, get this Jesus shit out of here. Oh, no. The Hallelujahs and the Hallelujah kids all look right at us at this interaction. They're watching it. And then they have just horrified looks on their face as I just said, get that Jesus shit out of here. What an asshole thing to say. First of all, I should never have said that. I mean, what a terrible I had to go to confession. I had to go to confession for that alone. These poor bastards hear that, and I'm like, oh, no. But they are so sweet, and they got 4 kids, and they're all awesome. And he's so on the straight and narrow. He won't do anything to rankle anybody. He told me a story about there was an incident. He was driving up north, and they were pulling a trailer behind them, a little not a fifth wheel, a travel trailer, and they passed where they needed to pull in to go camping. They go, oh, we missed the turn. Okay, well, all right. So they go a little bit down the road, and this is in the middle of the Upper Peninsula, and it's just like one lane going one way and another lane going the other way. And they're near the end of their travel, so it's evening, okay? And Mr. Hallelujah, he sees a residence where you have a driveway that's shaped like a half a circle. It goes off of the road, and then you can pull in, and then you can pull out. It's not a driveway where it's just in and then back out, okay? So it's perfect for a turnaround. Well, the guy who lived there, he was sick and tired of people doing that, okay? Unbeknownst to Mr. Hallelujah, at the other end of the circle, he didn't look that far down the road, there's a barricade there. So he has now pulled in, and as he's getting ready to pull out, he notices the barricade. And he's like, uh-oh, well, that's a bummer. And then he says to his kid, he goes, hey, so-and-so, can you get out and go move the barricade? It's just a little piece of wood, And then, so the son goes out, and then all of a sudden you hear, don't move. And the window's open. Mr. Hallelujah's like, what the fuck? He gets out of the car, and there's a guy there. And he goes, don't you touch that barrier. You're not going anywhere. What the? And then the guy says, I have people pull in here all the time. That's why I put that up there. Don't touch my property. Now, at this point in the conversation, if it were you or me, that's when we get ghetto and we drive through that motherfucker or whatever. We don't give a shit about that guy. Fuck him and fuck his stupid barricade. You're being an asshole now. I'm just going to bash through it, And Mr. Hallelujah is like, well, is there any way we can solve this? And he goes, yeah, back out the way you came. So this is UP logic here. These are the worst of the worst of the state, okay? And for that matter, the whole United States. You talk about, people with 1,000-yard stare that I make fun of in northern Michigan, northern lower peninsula Michigan. This is middle of nowhere, upper peninsula Michigan. This is its own country. Strange people, okay? And he goes, well, I can't. It's very difficult to back the trailer up. I'm not good at it. Can I just pull out and we'll call it even? Nope. Don't touch my property. Mr. Hallelujah is staying calm, trying to work it out. This guy's not budging. This goes on forever. And Mr. Hallelujah has to back it out. And he goes, and you can't go on my lawn either. Don't put the trailer on my lawn. Oh, my God. Can you imagine this? And this took forever. And he made Mr. Hallelujah back all the way out the way he came in with that stupid trailer, which is he's not good at. They always go wonky. You got to have some skill to be able to back up with a trailer on the back. Oh, my God. And then he even wanted to unhook it. And then he goes, no, you can't do that. He's just fucking with him. You can't unhook it because then you're going to have to put it on the grass, and I don't want anything on my grass. And thank God this old man wasn't dealing with an asshole, because Mr. Hallelujah would have probably just done what I would have done. But and I don't know. I think he was also worried. I think there was a weapon involved too, and the wife was sitting there in the porch just watching him. And so this went on for extended time. It's a legendary story. I gotta have him retell me that, and then I'll retell you the points that I'm messing up. But my God, can you imagine that? But anyway, the point is, he's a super nice guy, super sweet guy. And like on Wednesday, they go to church. And then on Sunday, church is an all-day affair. You go in the morning, you come home, you stay in the house, and then you go later in the day, which is weird because God rested on the seventh day. You should have it. You should do it on the seventh day, right? That you stay in the house. That's what our Jewish friends do. They stay in the house on Saturday. What is that called? Shabbat? Shabbat, I think, right? I was reading about that on the seventh day. The Jews rest, and Orthodox Jews, they don't do any work, and there's like a list of rules. I forget, there's like 30, 40 rules about things you can and cannot do, and you can't do anything touch anything that emits energy, like light switches and shit like that. There's like a strict protocol for on the seventh day when you're supposed to rest. It's really fascinating to me. Not all of them do it, though. It isn't like a hardened, you know how it is, like lazy Catholic. You can get like lazy Jew, too. I wonder if Sam's a lazy Jew. Isn't that hold on a second here. Let's see if I can get him on here. Got some Jewish questions. Sam Martinassi. Sam the Jew. That's who it is. See if I can get him on. I got like 5 numbers for Sam the Jew. Hey, Sam. Hold on. Sam. Okay, that number's changed. I got like 2 more. That one's not working either. Number 3. This one's got to be it. All right.
Hello.
Hey, Sam, it's Eric Zane. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are things in your world?
Oh, things are great, man. I got a little baby coming up here in July soon, so
that's right.
Busy for me.
By the way, this is on the Patreon.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say this is on the Patreon. I had some Jewish questions for you.
Okay, shoot.
And Leah is doing okay? She feels good?
Yeah, she's doing great, man.
Is she still lifting
really
weights? Is she still lifting weights? Doesn't she do that all the time?
Yeah, she's still lifting weights like every day now.
You know that's really going to help her delivery and her recovery. You realize that, right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard from everybody.
Yep, that is all good until she should do that until her doctor tells her to stop, and then just kind of have the baby. It'll make things a little more smooth.
Yeah, the doctor said just listen to your body. If you're not in pain, the baby's not in pain.
Nice. There have been women who've run full marathons at 8.5 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I got onto the subject about how, like, Christians, some of them stay inside and rest on Sunday, but Jews, that's Saturday. That's the Sabbath.
That is correct.
Do you honor that? Is that something you do? Do you like lay low on Saturday?
Yeah, we lay low. I refuse to do any sort of like laborious work, to make any money. It depends what sect you're in. Some sects of Judaism, like the ultra-Orthodox, will turn their lights on ahead of time because they don't even want to turn on a light switch because they'll say that kindles a fire.
Yeah.
They'll pre-tear their toilet paper even because they say that's work tearing their toilet paper.
Yeah.
So I keep, I don't work. I try not to spend money. We try to lay low,
Yeah. And I just happened to be reading about this. It's called Shabbat, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so and there's actually a list. They're written very old timey. There's a list of things you can't do, and it's I forget what the terminology is for, but there's like 30, 40 lists or something like that, or lists rules in this list. Yep,
there's rules. It's all in the Old Testament of what you can and can't do.
Right. Okay, so there's going to be another little Jew baby that comes to town very soon, correct?
Yes, sir. It's going to be a little girl.
Oh my God! Have you told anybody the name?
No, nobody knows the name yet. Only Lee and myself do.
Okay, is it a name that is quite common, or is it like different?
It's going to be a little different.
Okay.
I don't know anybody with this name.
Gotcha.
But I'll explain more in the future why we chose the names.
Okay.
So,
do you think there's been
symbolism to them?
Okay, good. I can't wait to find out. And you said July the baby's going to be born.
Yeah, July 11th.
Oh man, I got my fingers crossed for July 7 or July 15 because 7 is my birthday, 15 is my mother's.
Alrighty, well, hopefully it's one of those then.
All right, I'll talk to you. That's it. I just had some Jew questions I wanted to run by you.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime.
Okay, save my number.
I got it.
All right. See ya.
Take care, man.
There you go. You too. Sam the Jew giving us some Jewish insight. Queen of the Forest says she needs her medicine. Hold on a second here. Hey, Siri.
Uh-huh.
Call Pooh.
Calling Pooh. Mobile.
Hello?
Nurse's station. What did you need? I'm sorry.
I need my medicine.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I've already ripped off nearly 20 minutes of this, so it'll just be a handful more.
Okay.
Okay. So did you enjoy the lunch that was delivered from the cafeteria employee?
I did. I enjoyed my sandwich. I haven't eaten the rest yet. I'm trying to not eat so much junk.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that's what you. That's very good. The cafeteria sent you a fluffy nutter.
Yeah.
It was
delicious.
It was heated up, wasn't it? Wasn't the fluffy?
Warm.
It was warmed. So that changes everything on a fluffy nutter, by the way.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so the Suzy Q and the Cheetos might not fly. Would you like some chopped vegetables? Perhaps. Maybe that would be something more to your liking. I can call down to the kitchen and they can have that sent up.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind, I would love some vegetables, but that could wait a few minutes because I think I might take a little nap.
Gotcha.
It could be at my after nap snack.
Now, I heard from the physician that there was some tears. There was some upset feelings. How is the pain today, patient?
It still hurts, and it hurts more after I do my exercises, and I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, you're just sick of it. So you're having a psychological, mental health breakdown? Is that what is happening here?
I don't know if I'm having a breakdown. I'm just frustrated. I don't like it.
Okay. Do you think it should be better by now?
Yeah.
I heard that this is probably the most difficult surgery on a skeletal muscular system that a person could possibly have.
That's what I'm hearing, and I don't like it.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what, someone else is calling me. All right. Well, I'm sorry that's happening.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I love you.
Okay, I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, I'll see you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, see you. There you go. Queen of the Forest. Okay, pause in the action on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast to remind you that, as always, you can email me, eric@ericzaneshow.com, on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. I love to correspond with people. Why? It's because I'm in here talking to a camera every day of the week and interacting with dogs. And a brother-in-law who is a recipient of a lobotomy. I would love it if you reached out, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Good, bad, and ugly. If it's bad, I might yell at you. If it's ugly, I also may yell at you. If it's good, my fragile ego will expand. So thank you for that. This portion of the show brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Get into a mortgage today. From anywhere in the U.S., if you are a listener of this podcast, please mention EZ. Call Mario at 231-332-6505. He'll get you into a mortgage, whether it's your first, or you've done this many times, or you're just looking to get some cash out of your home. The red carpet treatment. Number one in the USA for a reason. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Thank you, as always, to Andy and Colleen at King's Room Barbershop. Fantastic human beings. Love them so much. Guys, keep it high and tight at King's Room Barbershop. Guys or a chick who likes a dude haircut, get it at King's Room Barbershop. Basically, if it's being cut short, King's Room Barbershop will do it. 3 locations, Northland Drive, Caledonia, and, of course, 821 36th Street in Wyoming, next to the costume room. Business is brisk at King's Room Barbershop. Exact locations, hours of your stylist, and all the pricing on your on the website, kingsroom.net. Thank you so much. And please mention EZ when you head over there. Today is Black Friday. If you're getting it, there's that radio habit again. Damn it. Show is released on Black Friday. There is a Black Friday sale with the Grand Rapids Gold. All tickets half off. Oh, my God, it's awesome. GrandRapidsGold.com. Check it out. There is a game on Saturday, the 25th. I will be there, of course, doing my thing. Tap me on the shoulder and say, hey. But you can get your tickets for half off, whether they're the nosebleeds or up, courtside. Not a bad seat in the house at Van Andel Arena. You got a mid-sized arena that only holds, 10, 11,000 people to begin with. So it's really not a bad seat in the house. And checking out a basketball game, your Grand Rapids Gold. Tickets have been brisk this year. So looking forward to another great time at the Saturday Grand Rapids Gold basketball game. Okay, rolling on with more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. I cannot wait to share this story with you about this judge. Do you remember the story of the judge on, he was doing Zoom court, and he had the defendant, some dude, and the woman he victimized on separate devices, along with some lawyers, and the dude was facing the music with that long-haired judge, and he's accused of like stalking or assaulting her or something. It was something domestic, and he's going to get punished for that. Well, it is the belief of the lawyer that the dude who's defending himself was in the same room with the victim during the Zoom. And, it was all weird. And the lawyer kind of, her intuition went off, and he goes, Your Honor, I have reason to believe that the defendant is, and it's against the restraining order, he should not be in the same room with her, and I'm concerned. And then right away, you see a cop whose mic is muted. You see him get his phone and says, hey, he knew who was in the area. This is in Southwest Michigan. Hey, get over to, and he gives an address. And sure enough, the cop, you see on the Zoom, the cops show up, and the guy's like, fuck, man. And then he got in big trouble. And so it was a mess. Well, this judge now is at his wit's end because something else happened, far less sinister, much more hilarious. This actually happened last week. And I'm just getting to it now. So you have several people that you see. You see the judge, you see lawyers, and then I think there's several other people that are defendants. And it's maybe like just some small court cases taking place, maybe some arraignments, things like that. And so the judge is just kind of hammering these out. And one of the people who gets on the Zoom, it doesn't say his name like Eric Zane. You know, the Zoom identifies you by what you put into it. That's all the background you need. And this happened. This is fantastic. Check it out.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
That's the judge.
Me?
Yeah, you. Yes.
Nathaniel Saxon, sir.
Okay, now it doesn't say Nathaniel Saxton for part of his Zoom.
Your name's not Buttfucker3000, you yo-ho. Logging into my court with that as your screen name.
Why would
I'll discuss that in a little bit.
Hold on. I gotta play that again. Just hearing the judge say Buttfucker3000.
Yes.
Nathaniel Saxon, sir.
Your name's not Buttfucker3000, you yo-ho. Logging into my court with that as your screen name.
Buttfucker3000.
I'll discuss that in a little bit. What kind of idiot logs into court like that? What's your name again?
Nathaniel Saxton, sir, but I don't believe that I typed anything like that in.
Well, that's what it says.
Well, I
We'll discuss that in
apologize.
a bit.
That should not
Yeah,
be.
you should. I'll put you in the waiting room. You can sit in limbo for a while and think about what you call yourself online.
That's a okay. So now you got another one of the defendants is cracking up at Buttfucker3000.
Think about what you call yourself online. Mr. Grossnickel, could you take your hat off, please?
And then this guy's wearing a hat. So this judge has had it. He's
He missed
had it.
an earlier date, but he's here now. All right. Good morning, everyone. We've got everybody with a name. You're all here.
Okay. And then
Mr. Saxon back in.
okay, we're gonna bring Mr. Saxon back in.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I may
This is Buttfucker3000.
explain, my sister was the one that set up my Zoom account or whatever. That, but effort is my iPhone pairing name for my Bluetooth speaker, sir. It's an inside joke. It's not what you think. I'm
It's inside, all right. It's inside somebody's butt.
I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Well, you should be. All right. We'll come back to you in a bit.
I like this judge.
Let's take care of some of yours, Mr. Barnes. We have Michael Owen.
Okay, so I love the fact that he doesn't overreact. You know,
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Sorry, one more. I'm such a. I love. You know me. I love hearing shit about 100 times.
Nathaniel Saxon, sir.
Oh my God,
Your
I love
name's
this.
not Buttfucker3000, you yo-ho. Logging into my court with
Yo-ho.
that as your screen name.
Why
I'll
would that?
discuss that in a little bit.
Oh God. Okay, that is awesome. I love every bit of that. Buttfucker3000. Shit, is that great? Let me see. There's a little bit more to that. Middleton, that is Judge Middleton. Saxton was set to appear before the judge on the charge of possessing drug paraphernalia. He was arraigned Tuesday, pleaded guilty. Middleton fined him $200. Centerville is the county seat for St. Joseph County, about 30 miles south of Kalamazoo, 150 miles west of Detroit. Oh my God, is that great? And now I saw this yesterday on Wood TV8. The 7 at 7 with Michelle DeSelms and Ellen Baca. Michelle DeSelms is back. How about that? That is my first news person crush right there here in West Michigan. Oh my God. Let's see. This is what the judge is doing now. Check this out.
New tonight at 7, a St. Joseph County judge is closing down the live stream for his courtroom after a couple of moments have gone viral.
The Supreme Court are the ones that told us to start the YouTube live feed some year ago. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, if they're the ones that told me to start it, I guess I should listen to them when they tell me to stop it.
Judge Jeffrey Middleton from the 38th District says he's gotten harassing phone calls and emails in the weeks after a man and a woman in the hearing were discovered to be in the same home despite a no-contact order. And then,
first of all, why would you harass the judge? First of all, it's a bad idea to harass a judge over that. I don't understand. The judge didn't do anything.
Last week, he made headlines again when a man logged into the court's Zoom call with an expletive as his screen name. Middleton says most of the criticism is
they so want to say buttfucker 3000
from people outside of the county.
The judge also defends the live stream, saying these feeds are for education, not for entertainment.
I'm all for transparency.
This judge he's so dopey. This is perfect.
And allowing people to see how our courts operate, including my court. But the inherent flaw in the process is that nobody asked the litigants what they thought about it. Nobody asked the domestic violence victims or the young girl charged with shoplifting.
Judge says from now on, court hearings will not be streamed.
Oh, boo. Boo. You see, Zoom has brought us so much. I mean, let's think about it. There are very few silver linings in the pandemic, very few good stories, but Zoom is one of them. We have seen just some outrageous shit because of Zoom. My God. Thank you, Zoom. But I'm sorry that the judge has put in an end to this. We got a lot of funny feedback concerning that. Concerning the whole thing about buttfucker 3000. Tyler had sent it along. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that. Kate loved it with several ha-ha-ha-has. Kenny laughed out loud. Kate says she literally spit take at her desk. Megan, buttfucker 3000, LOL. A lot of big laughs. He put the guy in timeout. This is like the SNL Jeopardy skit. Blaming his sister, quote, right in the ass, says Stevie. Tyler says, I like how he follows it up with buttfucker 3000 with yo-ho. I'm going to play it one more time again. You guys like it too much. Stevie says, does he date Jessica's neighbor? Hi, Katie. Hey, Katie, I can't be so loud because Zane's window's open and fucking hallelujah neighbors is going to hear. But motherfucker, man. My brother, buttfucker 3000. My brother, buttfucker 3000 just got fucking popped by that fucking judge. I shit, my motherfucker. I put that shit on there. I thought it was funny because he fucks my ass. Yeah, that's right. I told him a fucking shot fireball. I thought it was funny shit. Inside joke between himself and his sister. Is that what he said? Yeah, that's what that's what my brother does.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Jessica.
Me?
Yeah, you. Yes.
Yeah. Nathaniel Saxon.
That's my brother, Your Honor.
Your name's not buttfucker 3000.
Yeah, it is.
Yo-ho. Logging into my court with that.
That's
is
right.
your screen name.
I did it.
Why would
We'll discuss that in a little bit.
I did it.
What kind of idiot logs into court like that?
I want to make sure
What's
you know.
your name again?
I want to make sure that you know what he does to me.
Nathaniel Saxon, sir, but I don't believe that I typed anything like that in.
Well, that's what it says.
Your Honor.
Hey,
Yes.
If I may
tell him the truth, buttfucker.
explain, my sister was the one that set up my Zoom account or whatever.
Yeah.
That butt effer is my
Let's say what it is, buttfucker. What you do to me?
iPhone pairing name for my Bluetooth speaker, sir. It's an inside joke. It's not.
Inside of me.
I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry.
That's right. You shouldn't be embarrassed. It's God's will. Ooh, that's kind of gross. All right. Pausing the action on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast to talk about Frank Fuss, My Policy Shop Insurance. Frank is a licensed independent insurance agent / broker. I know that isn't the most sexy thing to talk about. Hey, go see Frank. He sells insurance. Let me stress to you the importance of a life insurance policy. Let's say you're a young family. You got mom, you got dad, you got 2, 3, 4 little ones. Let's just say the plan was mom is going to work part-time or not at all for the time being till the little ones grow up. You know how expensive daycare can be. So that's your plan. Okay. So then as you're working your butt off, sticking to your budget and doing all the right mom and dad things that they do, you're riding to work and a 747 comes out of the sky and crashes into your car. You are never seen or heard from again. In fact, they don't even find you. You've become like one with the plane. As horrible as that is, wouldn't it be wonderful that mom and the kids, because you're brilliant and got a wonderful life insurance policy, those kids are taken care of, mom is taken care of? I mean, my God. This is all a horrible scenario, but fuck, it happens. So throw a few bucks at a life insurance policy each month for you and yours. Frank will help you set that up. I'm a big believer in life insurance. My dad sold life insurance for AAA for decades. And, he made perfect sense to me and made me buy a life insurance policy. And it still remains intact to this day. And you can get a lot of life insurance for not a lot of cash, especially if you are super preferred. Don't smoke, don't drink. You're not all fucked up. That's awesome. Reach out to Frank at buyinsurancehere.com. That's B-U-Y, insurancehere.com. God bless Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, the number one place in West Michigan to get your vehicle repaired. Year after year, award after award, this locally female veteran-owned business, but they don't go around and announce that they're veterans because that's just ridiculous. Thank you to Irvine, 616-532-6600. Irvines.com, the number one place to get your vehicle repaired for something as simple as an oil change or more extensive work. Keeping your cars on the road, your fleet in the family. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Back to more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Okay, I hear the garage door opening right now, right below me. You can't hear it, but right below me is a garage. And in the garage is a car. That car belongs to Princess of the Forest, Madison, who's going to get a rapid test right now. I'm going to bring her in. Hey, Siri. Call Madison on speaker.
Calling Madison. Mobile.
Hello? Hang on a second. Sorry. There's actually an easier way to put a phone call on, but I'm just stubborn.
Hello.
Hi, Manny.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
This is your dad, and I do the Eric Zane Show podcast every day.
I know. I can tell when you call me and you're on the radio.
Yeah, I know, because I sound like a radio announcer, don't I?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm trying to be all...
You sound weird.
Yeah, I know it. It's not the same as when I'm walking around the house.
No.
So, if with 0 being least concerned, 10 being most concerned, where are you on the COVID scale right now?
Like a 3, because I feel a lot better than I did yesterday.
Okay. So now, if you have it, we got to lock you in your room like fucking Harry Potter under the steps.
No, you can lock me in the house, not the room. I've already been around all you people.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want your disease in my nose so that I give it to...
If I have it, you already have it.
You don't know that. Who are you, Dr. Fauci?
Yeah.
I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to lock you in a room, and you don't talk to anybody. We're going to slide your food under the door. That's just like prison, okay?
I don't like you.
All right, so remember, if you have it, you're no longer part of the family.
Shut up.
Where do you have to go?
I'm heading to a Walgreens in Grand Rapids. They had a rapid test appointment at 10.
Aren't those rapid tests like terrible? Like they're only accurate 0.5% of the time?
No.
Okay. Well,
and I feel a lot better now. It feels like a cold. And I was around someone who did have a cold.
I don't know. I am going to predict right now. My bold prediction is that.
You think I have it?
Pardon me?
You think I have it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't scare me like that, bro.
No, it's not. I don't think it's the type that it's gonna like.
I'm not scared. I'm gonna die.
No, you're not. You're not. I mean, first of all, you have you're vaccinated. It does offer some protection to minimize the symptoms to some degree.
I'm only halfway vaccinated. My second
I understand that, but there is still some type of effect on it. It's your body is established. See, because how it is when they inject you with the first one. Then your body is establishing a blueprint. And then the second one comes in. That's why the immune response is sometimes stronger. So basically, it's like Mother Nature throwing in your second dosage. But it's much more than what they would inject via the shot. Yeah. So it's no big deal.
Huh?
No big deal. You're going to be fine. No big deal. Just this is what you do. Get the test. When they say you have it, you come home and then lock your door. And then we're going to lock you in your room.
Okay. Well, the only thing that's wrong with me is, my throat doesn't even hurt anymore.
Yeah.
And one nostril is a slight running.
Okay.
Just one.
All right. All right. So no big deal. And then is this the type of thing where it's they do the swab and then in 1 minute they say you have it or you don't?
No, it takes a couple hours.
Oh, so that you like leave and then they let you know, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you come home, you know that how underneath that sun. Wait, what?
I already texted my manager.
No. Listen to me. You know how like when you're in the backyard and you're looking at the house, you can see the house in that room that Uncle Kevin sits in, and then underneath that there's like a lawnmower. There's a room where the lawnmower is, and yeah. So we're going to keep you in there.
No, you're not.
Okay, so just go in there and sit there and look at your phone, and then when
that's why all like our cats go to die.
I know it. It's gonna smell like dead cat in there. So
I've literally been so careful. I'm not stupid.
Oh no, you got it. It's
hang out and but I still feel.
No. You're a super spreader. Everybody knows that.
No, I'm not. Shut up.
Okay. All right. I love you very much. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Bye. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Princess of the Forest, Madison. Oh, dear. Diana, come on, man. Today would have been Diana's dad's 85th birthday. That makes me sad. That guy was a frickin' wild card. When you have never really heard about some of the stories about Diana's dad. But this guy, oh, man, talk about a Jekyll and Hyde. Diana's brother, the one who passed away on July 30, he used to think that I hated Diana's dad. I did not. I loved him. His name was Jerry. These wards, all these wards, they take their middle name and make it their first name. So Diana's dad's real first name was James Gerald Ward, but we called him Jerry. Diana's brother, who lives with us, is James Kevin Ward, but we call him Kevin. Diana's mom is Carolyn Sue Ward. We call her Sue. She's passed too. Diana is Diana Lynn Ward till she met me. And then it became, but then they never called her Lynn. walk into this house for years. And on a Friday, I walk in and I've got two of my kids. Madison wasn't yet born yet. And you walk into this house in Birmingham, Michigan. And he was an old fire chief. He worked two jobs. Well, he worked two jobs for 20 years. And then when he was about 45, he quit the one job. He would work 3 straight days as fire chief. And then you get the time off. And Bloomfield Township, Michigan. And then the days off, he would work at a Catholic school as a maintenance man. So he worked his ass off. When he finally did retire from when he had both jobs under his belt, he collected 2 pensions and his Social Security. So, I mean, he really worked his ass off and was rewarded for it with all of that. So that's awesome. I always loved his story and looked up to him for that. But where was I going with this? Oh, a couple of stories about him being a fire chief. This is, again, Diana's dad, would have been 85 years old today. When he was constantly, they'd get a 911 call, and they'd have to go to the same address. And they would show up there, and the homeowner would be screaming and yelling that there's a fire, and she smells smoke, and the fire crew would go around and take care, make sure, ma'am, there's nothing. And so 2 or 3 times a week, they would get that call. And they would always be very patient with this lady. And finally, Diana's dad, one of these calls comes again, and he walks up to the lady. And she's the same thing. He goes, ma'am. And he has a heart-to-heart talk with her about it. And she didn't get it, and the calls kept coming in. But he finished the conversation with, all right, Ms. Franklin, have a great night. It's Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin used to constantly call 911 saying, I smell smoke, motherfucker, get down here and put out this motherfucking fire. Holy shit, you crazy ass crackers. They show up there, and there's Aretha running on the fucking front porch like, oh my God, this place is going to burn nothing. Oh, Miss Franklin, it's not a problem. Just calm down. Calm the fuck down. Holy shit. Oh my God. And then for years, before he was a chief, he was working his way through the ranks, and he was a captain, or no, he was a lieutenant. And they used to, you work 24-hour shifts. And the story goes, when Jerry died, one of his fellow firemen told a story at Jerry's funeral. I'll never forget this. And the story he told it so well, and I'm kind of ripping it off, but it was awesome because he described Diana's dad as being, he's just a hard ass. Okay, he's from Owensboro, Kentucky. He went to Catholic school. He's tough as shit, and he used to beat the shit out of people all the time. And he's big. Diana's dad is very, very tall and just robust, barrel-chested, beat the shit out of you in a heartbeat. You want to be on his good side. And so the story goes, the firemen are in their bunks, and the captain calls a meeting. And Jerry's trying to get all the guys rounded up in the fire hall to go have a meeting at the conference room or whatever. And he goes, "Hey, captain wants to have a meeting. Get up." And this is one of the other subordinates, and he's like, "No, I ain't doing anything." And he goes, "Captain said you got to get up." And this story is how Diana's dad developed the nickname the Hammer. And this story goes, there's this dynamic between the guy on the bunk and Diana's dad. Get up, no. Get up, no. And he goes, "You know what? You're going to get up." And he grabs him and balls up he had a big hand, this giant Andre, this giant-sized fist, and just punches him right in the fucking face. And the guy's nose explodes everywhere. Like, "Oh, you motherfucker. Holy shit. Oh, my God. You motherfucking nose." That created the nickname the Hammer. And so nobody ever crossed Diana's dad at the fire hall anymore after that. So years of running into burning buildings takes a toll. Years of running into burning buildings and smoking. And so he would do that all the time. Smoke all damn day at the fire hall. He'd go run into a burning building with a cigarette in his mouth. And, this is old school. And fuck the oxygen. We're just going in. falling through roofs, seeing the worst of the worst, train crossing, some guy on a motorcycle gets hit by a train. Oh, my God. They have to pick up the pieces. They're just terrible. When he got sick, he didn't tell anybody. He's one of these guys that never went to a doctor, and he had something called pulmonary fibrosis. It made his lungs turn into Swiss cheese, and he didn't even bother going to the doc when the symptoms started. So when he finally went to the doc, it was in the last week of life. It's supposed to take years for pulmonary fibrosis to kill you, okay? And he went through all of that, and no one knew. So by the time he went to the doctors, they're like, well, wait a minute. You're having symptoms of, they took a biopsy of his lungs and go, his lungs look like he's had this for years. It's because he had. So, he went to the hospital, never came out, and that was that. It was quite a terrible thing, but he would have been 85 years old today. The immortal Jerry freaking Ward. We would go to his house on a Friday. I'd walk in, this is the story I was telling you, with my two kids, and he'd be all so sweet, so kind, give me a beer. It's when I was still drinking. We'd sit there, we'd drink all night, play poker. Oh, my God, it was great. And then Saturday, we'd have a cookout. It'd be awesome, drink our asses off. Oh, my God, it was incredible. Sunday rolls around, and then he's sick of me. He's sick of me and the kids, okay? So does he just get crabby and just kind of moody and just stay apart from me and the group? No. You know what he does? He sits there on this porch. I wake up Sunday morning, hungover, and there's Jerry, and he's hungover too. I sit down with him at the table, and he's looking at me. He's got his coffee, and he's just looking at me. This is true. And I was looking at him. I go, hey, Jerry, how are you? This is my father-in-law. And then, swear to God, good thing I had thick skin. He goes, why don't you and your brats get the hell out of here? Yes. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I didn't fuck with the guy. I was like, yeah, all right, Jerry. I knew my role. I was low man on the totem pole there. I'm like, this is your house. You're the fucking boss here. I go, yeah, all right. And occasionally we get in a fight and yell and scream. But more often than not, I was like, all right, yep, all right. Hey, kids, let's go. Let's get in the car. Let's get the fuck out of here. So, yes, described as having asshole-ish tendencies. We loved him very much. Did not expect to have a look back down the road of Diana's dad, but you guys probably have never heard about that. Okay, pause in the action on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast to remind you can hire me on Cameo, cameo.com/Eric Zane. $20, and they're the best. You can check out my work at that site. Also, worth mentioning, T-shirts available at ericzaneshow.com, coffee mugs, all that merch garbage. I think I average like 4 T-shirts a year. That's all at ericzaneshow.com. My Patreon is, I put a lot of work into the Patreon. Oh, my God. So many shows for you to check out. And you can enjoy Patreon for free for 7 days. This coming week, we have a new edition of Who Are These Free Beers? We will break down more of our heroes doing their thing on the radio. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Try it for 7 days free. And finally today, Joe Martinez at A&E Heating and Cooling. Time is running short. You've got the rest of this upcoming week to book Joe in your home to service, clean, and inspect your furnace for the year. And the best part, I say this with urgency because there's no cost up until December 1. It's actually free. The most free ever. Someone always said there's no such thing as a free lunch. No, that's bullshit. There is a free thing as a free furnace cleaning. Joe, he walks in, does it, and then doesn't ask for money and leaves. That is the definition of free. And he does it that way because he's able to get the money, the $79 it would normally cost from the local gas company, DTE Energy. So if you're in West Michigan, book Joe at 616-516-8579. On to more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. My God, a lot to get to today on the show. Let me start by getting after comedy night last night. Hashtag Bomb City. Ben Glaze doing stand-up at a coffee bar called Mahala Coffee Bar in Grand Rapids here. This may have been the strangest thing I have seen in a long, long time. There is no way to describe this other than it was one of the most awkward things I have experienced in my entire life. In fact, I should probably bring Stu in here. And a little bit later on, Adam Degi, who was the headliner, will join me. I need to stew. I was going to say I need to stew Phil in. I need to fill Stu in about what's going on. And he's probably not even awake yet. My God. How many times? I've been on a real dry spell lately on bringing people in randomly on the show. Come on, Stu. Wake your ass up, buddy. Stu still, I think he's still delivering Dippin' Dots. But who knows? He's probably, since the last time we spoke, had 3 or 4 new jobs as he continues to find his way. I honestly think he's shooting too low. You know, Stu is super educated. I mean, super educated. He's got a master's degree. And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to get back into social work. It's like, Stu, well, you don't have to get back into social work. You're still very educated. You can do a lot with that expertise. You don't have to get back into counseling. But at the same time, delivering worms is probably something that you're overqualified for. All right? Delivering worms and super frozen ice cream is a little bit... I mean, those are fine jobs, don't get me wrong. But you are suited for a hell of a lot more than that. Okay, so I can't really get Stu in here. That's okay. I'll get Degi on later on. I should get Ben on, but he's probably at work or getting ready for work, and I don't want to bother him. And I think the thing that we need to cover first, because, I mean, here I am saying that this was the most awkward thing I'd ever experienced in my life, and I would say easily top 5. I mean, this is right up there with, like, sitting around after somebody dies, going over who gets what from the will, and one of the kids is left out of it. It was that awkward. Everything went wrong to make this one of the most awkward things I had ever seen in my entire life. And I will discuss that with Degi a little bit later on. He'll be, in fact, you will be able to see Degi unless he turns his camera off, because I invited him into the live stream of the podcast via the Restream platform. But let's get this out of the way. Ben did well. I'll just say it right now. I laughed at Ben's jokes. One of the things that stood out to me is because a lot of the times when I get Ben on here, when we're just having a conversation like on the podcast, he, you know, sometimes it takes him forever to spit something out. I just get the urge to punch the words out of him. For some reason, it's almost like his mind is going in 3 different directions, and what flies out of his face sounds a little choppy, I guess, you know? And I don't know if that's something that ever gets changed, because as long as I've ever known Ben, whenever we're having a radio conversation or whatever, podcast conversation, he does that a lot. It's almost like he's afraid to say what's really on his mind. And, you know, that's the kiss of death. You can't do that. You got to get right in there, get right down and dirty, and say whatever you want. I have no idea. I'm just speculating. However, that did not happen when he's on stage. And I don't know if it's because he's worked on his delivery or he's done these jokes so many times. But, I don't have much negative to say about Ben. I actually laughed at his jokes. His comedy is dark. There was a dead baby joke, and I'm like, oh my God. But the fact that he's delivering these some of these jokes were super dark, and he's deadpan when he's doing it, and he was pretty polished. I cannot say that okay, out of all the comics, you had, the host was really green. He was a little clumsy, no big deal, whatever, it happens. This is why open mic exists. Okay, you go to open mic events to and that's the trade-off. You get to see guys bomb or girls bomb. Not all of them, but some of them. And they're practicing new material. So that's it. And they're kind of working on their game. And the only way to do this is to get it at game speed like this. So you're in front of people. I'll say this. I walked into this joint, and it's small. And right away, the thought of being in front of strangers made me anxious. Me. And I'm not performing. And I thought to myself, oh, fuck, this is going to be hard. But, and I'm like, Jesus, Ben, this is what you do? This is, it's just intimidating. There was probably only been 1 or 2 times that I've actually had to think on my feet in front of an audience like that. It's different doing this, doing what I'm doing right now with you. I cannot see you, okay? I know you're there, a few dozen of you, but I can't see you. When you say something that's intended to be funny and you see everyone stone-faced staring at you blinking, oh, fuck. That's not easy. Not easy. I don't know. I mean, I would pee a little right there. But there he was. Naked to the world. So, but it was kind of like he transformed in front of my eyes because he kept it moving. There was only a couple times. Okay, this to me, I don't know anything about doing stand-up. Well, I mean, maybe I do. I mean, I can observe and make comments, but to me, in terms of the flow of the show, like the headliner, Adam Degi, he's just up there and he's just talking and he's dropping jokes on people. There was some interaction with the crowd. There was some spontaneity. But what he's not doing is the thing that a lot of these comics did was they bring notes up there and they're actually like pick up note cards of jokes. And I don't care if it's a veteran comic or if it's a person who's doing comedy for the first time. If you have written jokes down on a piece of paper and they're at a stool and you're standing there, you tell a joke, and then you kind of like look down at the note, try to be inconspicuous about it, your note, and you're like, okay, I got to tell this joke. And then it just, the flow, it just drops. It ruins the spell of what you're fucking trying to do. Get that shit down. I don't give a fuck if it's your first time or your 100th time. There is no excuse, in my opinion, for anyone to stand in front of a group of people and look at notes. And some of these people are like, seriously, they're sitting there, all right, yeah, say a joke, and then they pick up note cards and they're holding a note card in front of them. Oh my God, they're looking at the notes of their next joke. And then they set the notes down and said, okay, let me tell you about my car trouble. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop that. That's no good. You're just reading me shit on a note card. Let's fucking get that shit together, man. Oh. And if you can't, in my opinion, if you can't rehearse enough before you go in front of people to at least tell me your bad jokes without looking at a note card, don't do it. Do not commit. There's no way, no how you should be doing that. What the fuck? I mean, how much can it say on there? Is it just an asterisk with one line to remind you what the joke is? And then, so Ben did that a little bit, not a lot. He kind of like his energy when you have to look at the notes. What was a joke and a punchline, then you have to kind of pause, and it's clumsy, and it's like shit, what are you doing? But he was not the worst at all. And in fact, I would say that of all the people that were up there, he was as polished as any of them. You had the host was clumsy. I think he was it might have been very early in hosting or something like that. I have no idea. But the sound was fucked. It was lit poorly. The audience was hit or miss on their responses and their laughter. I mean, and then there was a gang of Bosnian hitmen that were there. And you're like, what? And I shit you not. As far as I understand, okay, you walk up to the place, and there's a bunch of people that look, they look like they're from former Soviet Eastern Bloc country. I mean, the second I walked up, all I pictured. And I go into the stone cold. I don't know who the fuck is who, what is what. And I had sent Ben a text, say, I'm running late. Hey, man, stall. I don't want to miss any of this. And I didn't. But I'm walking up to the place, and there's like 6 guys smoking cigarettes. And all I thought about was the Bert Kreischer bit, The Machine, when he hung out with the Russian Mafia or whatever, except I didn't know that these weren't Russians. Apparently, they were Bosnians. At least that's what I was told. I guess I don't know for sure. But these guys that look like a bunch of Eastern Bloc country hitmen are standing out in front, and right away, and they're speaking a foreign language, and I'm like, boy, do not fucking look at these guys. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so right away, the impression I got was these people own the facility, and this is like their version, this coffee bar of the Bada Bing from The Sopranos, where, Tony, that was a place where they do all the sit-downs and the meetings and shit. But at least in The Sopranos, they would do it in the back room, not to disturb the customers who were there. Or what's the name of that meat joint that they would hang out in front of, where they have lunch, have a sit-down there? So I think this was the West Michigan Bosnian Mafia. And I'm not shitting you, because the host goes up, and the comedians are there, and we're all doing our thing, and I'm watching, and the comics up there, and then the Bosnian Mafia sits down at couches in their own area. No one sits there. Right near, this is a small room, okay? And they are having a discussion while the people are performing, loudly. As loud as I'm talking to you, they are talking to each other in a foreign language for an hour and a half. And it was so fucking awkward. I could not believe the level of rudeness. And they don't give a shit because it's their place. One of the comics said to me, I think they simply bought that place so that they could smoke out in front of it, because every 10 minutes, all these guys get up and go out and smoke. This one comic, some of the comics started to reference the dudes, and and the place was called Mahala. One of the comics referred to them as the Mahala Mafia, and I'm like, oh shit! I couldn't believe it. Like right to the guys' faces. He goes, oh, look at that! There we got the Mahala Mafia over here, and I'm like, you say that. But I would not put that past. I would not put the idea past anyone, and try to forget that may be a organization, a group of organized crime members right there. And holy shit! And then another comic, after they all walked out, so they're all sitting there having their sit down. Comics are doing their thing, and then they go, "Let's go smoke" in Bosnian or whatever. And they all get up. Is that a language, Bosnian? Or do you say Yugoslavian, or do you say Sarajevian, or what? I have no idea. They all get up. They all go outside to smoke like every 10 minutes. And as the last one's leaving and the door is closed, ding dong, the comic goes, there goes the Vladimirs. Assuming they were Russian, I guess. I don't know, but I got the joke, and it was funny. I'm like, holy shit, though, man. Jesus, you got some balls. These are all big. All these dudes had giant heads. Every single one of these guys had barrel chests, giant heads. They looked like they're about 45 years old and with old man strength, but I'm guessing they were all about 28. They pulled out of some war-torn country where they probably sold arms to the Russians or some shit. I have no idea. But this was fucking weird. Really weird. So they had to contend with that, and Ben went first. And they weren't, I don't remember Ben having to contend with them having their sit-down meeting, because I was kind of focused on Ben, but I kept hearing a conversation. I'm like, what is going on? They're actually speaking a different language over there. And it got louder and louder and louder. I'm standing there, and just before, and while Ben is on stage, I'm at this bar, okay? And again, they don't serve alcohol, but it's called the Mahala Coffee Bar. And someone says, hey, can I help you? Is there anything you want? I go, and now No alcohol. This is a great place for me. Everyone's like, man, I wish I had a drink. I'm like, I'm glad I don't have a drink. And I go, well, do you have anything with no caffeine? Like, I'll get a coffee drink as long as it's no caffeine because I got to get to sleep at night. And they go, how about a smoothie? And I go, this is my kind of place. And he goes, what kind of smoothie? I go, I don't care. And he kind of looks at me funny. I go, get creative. Make me something fruity. And they go, you want something fruity? I go, I honestly, be creative. Whatever you put in front of me, I'll drink it. I don't give a shit. Okay. So there I am sitting there on this bar stool with my little feet kicking, not touching the ground. I'm like a kid at the malt shop drinking a smoothie. Ben finishes. Comic number 2 goes up there. And, this is the typical open mic. He's trying to work his act. And, he was pretty prepared, too. I don't recall him looking at notes. That, to me, was the worst. There was a lot of awkward going around in this night. But the looking at the note cards, I was like, come on, man. He comes up there. And now, prior to the event, I had seen the list of comics. And I saw a name. And when I saw the name, I went, oh, I know a person by that name. And then I dismissed it. And I didn't think another thing of it. And then, so this guy is up there. And then I get my smoothie while this guy is doing his act. And it's time to take my mask off, my 2 masks that I'm wearing, and to drink my smoothie. And I take my mask off right when this comic looks at me. And this comic stops talking and looks right at me. And I'm like, what the fuck's this guy doing? And I'm like, oh, this person probably recognizes me from the radio. I just took my mask off, or maybe from the Griffins, and probably just fucked with his head right now. So, all right, that ends, and I don't think another thing of it. Later on, this guy wanders over next to me, and he's standing there watching the other acts, and then he leans in and he goes, hey, Zane. I go, hey, how are you? And it's that dude. And I'm still thinking, he goes, do you remember me? Matt, Purple Heart Matt. And then right when he said Matt, it dawned on me that it was the guy that I was thinking that I knew his name when I first looked at the list of comments. Purple Heart Matt was an intern on the old Free Bear and Hot Wings show more than a decade ago. And he served in Iraq and got had a hand injury. I think he lost some fingers, a roadside bomb or some shit like that. Except when I remember him, he was round. This guy is not round at all. In fact, you ever notice that when they lose a ton of weight, their actual the shape, their face appearance, like you don't know it's them. You remember that guy Carlos? What's his face? Carlos Orozco, who I talked to out of the east side of Michigan, who lost 500 pounds. Remember Carlos? No one would ever know that that's him now. He weighs 185 pounds now. It's incredible. That's what's going on with this guy. And I go, oh my God! When I saw the name, I thought, boy, I know a Matt, but I didn't think it was going to be you. And here you are. I go, you do stand up? He goes, yeah, man. So this is years ago. Purple Heart Matt used to answer the phones for us. I go, well, it's really, really great to see you, buddy. How are you? And he dropped 100 pounds. He's 185 pounds, soaking wet, jacked. This dude is ripped. So I'm like, holy shit, man. All these little crazy little weirdo things happen to me all the time like that. So that was good to see him. So you got a lot of dynamic here. You got Ben doing, honestly, I thought Ben was going to be shitty, okay? I thought his jokes, for me, were funny. I was laughing at because, and then the crowd. This group, boy, it's hit or miss. You had a few people that would bust out laughing, these young ladies. To the side of the stage. They were laughing pretty hard at a lot of the jokes. Other folks are, I don't know, it's just a little wonky in the crowd. And then you got nobody's got a drink. And then you got the fucking Bosnian Mafia there having a sit-down meeting. And then some of the comics, I don't know. I love some of those people very much. You're all wonderful people. But in my opinion, the world of stand-up comedy, there is no room in the world of stand-up comedy, in my opinion, for anyone to tell a joke, go, hey, yeah, and then the joke gets kind of like a lukewarm feel to it. And then you go, hey, hang on. And then they look at notes. Okay, I'll tell this joke. And then they come back and, hey, guess what happened to me today? It's like, oh, fuck. Quit doing that shit. Now, I get it. Easier said than done. But if I can stay, I mean, not exactly what I say is funny when I say it, but if I can sit here for 2 hours and at least maintain my thoughts so I don't have to sit there and go, look at these fucking notes now. Come on, guys. What are you doing? No way. I'm sorry. So I'm going to get Degi in here. He was the headliner. And get his thoughts. See if we can compare notes on the event about what went down last night as Ben's hashtag Bomb City Baller tour continues. He did 4 nights of comedy. I think Ben. I was impressed. Because I had he's always talking about how shitty he does. So I had an expectation that he wasn't going to be able to get like one word out. But he absolutely did. So good for you, Ben. In a way, I'm proud of you, buddy. I'll just say that I am proud of you, Ben. When you do this, like I said, I had an expectation, and at first I was like, "Oh, you're funnier than this guy," or "You're funnier than this guy," or "You're funnier than that girl," or whatever. But I don't know, maybe because I'm partial to Ben, I got a little bit uncomfortable with a lot of those comics. I wasn't really uncomfortable with Ben. There was comic who says the N-word way too much. This guy just gets up on stage, and I think he could be funny because he was really comfortable. But I don't know. I think he just the N-word was kind of like a crutch for him. I mean, I can understand saying that once in a while. I mean, and of course, yes, he was a black guy, because if he was a white guy, that would have been the first thing I started with. White comic is sitting in a room full of mixed company saying the N-word. That would have been the first thing I said. He was funny-ish, but okay, he was funny in his delivery, but the jokes were, boy, I don't know. And then there was this dude who, this might have been, if it weren't for the Bosnian Mafia sit-down going on while the comics are doing their thing. And some of the comics, when they're talking, the Bosnian sit-down, Bosnian Mafia was getting so loud, the comics were getting interrupted. Like, they would, like, burst out with an exclamation in another language. Imagine that, trying to do comedy with that right like 15 feet away from you. My God. By the way, Bosnian Mafia gets a nomination for Asshole of the Day for the level of rudeness. Okay? There's a comic there, and I saw the folks when they walked in. It was a teeny tiny little man, I'm guessing 5'4", with a enormous woman. When I say enormous, I mean she was taller than all of the women, and she was very, very heavy, okay? Like the type of, wow, that type of heavy. And so whatever, okay? And it didn't, I noticed that he was writing. And I think he was writing jokes. And I don't remember this guy doing a lot of looking at the notes. But it turns out that the little guy was one of the comics. And so as he's doing his thing, he suddenly, and you know he's there with her. Okay, there's a handful of people in the audience. While on stage, and while she's right in the front, he goes, yeah, and he's got a really high voice. Yeah, even though I'm a little guy and I've put on a few pounds during the pandemic, he made a joke about, gaining weight during the pandemic, this little guy, because he looked a little portly, but no big deal. And then he suddenly says, though I'm a little guy, I tell you what, I got myself a big girl. Now, if you're going to make jokes about how you are dating a girl who's enormous, that's one thing. She's right fucking there. And immediately everybody's like, oh, fuck. He's making fat jokes about his girlfriend who's this far away. Holy shit. Oh. And I'm standing next to Ben. And, okay, if there was any bit of awkwardness in what Ben did, no one remembers that. The only thing anyone remembers from this night is the Mafia and this. Everything else is an afterthought. He is making fat jokes about his girlfriend, and she's fat as shit and right there looking like Jabba the Hutt. I mean, I'm not kidding you. And he then starts to go down the road of a joke, okay? And Ben and I we muttered our own punchline to this joke and then looked at each other because we said the same punchline while we're looking at each other and started laughing while he said the real punchline. And he goes, yeah, talk about how fat she is. It's fucking terrible. And then he goes, yeah, I like to smother her in kisses. And Ben and I both go, smother me with her body. We actually said that. I could hear him. He could hear me. We start cracking up. We're laughing our fucking asses off. We turn around. We actually turn our backs to the stage and to the fat chick. And you hear Ben doing his laugh, his fucking snickering that is. So we're sitting there cracking up, and he goes, she wants to smother me with a pillow. And we're saying, oh, wow, the fuck? How can you talk about how big she is and you drop smother me with a pillow? You got to go for it, little guy. You got to smother me with her giant fat titties or whatever it is. Doesn't matter what the fuck you say. If you're going to make fun of how fat she is or point out how fat she is in front of the Bosnian Mafia, what the fuck are you doing going with the pillow reference? You got to bust out her big fat titties. Oh, and we're like, holy shit, this is so insane. This was the Valhalla of awkward. Off the rails awkward. Guy dropping N-word, Bosnian Mafia, looking at the notes, little hobbit guy dating fat chick, talking about how fat she is right in front of everybody. Oh, what entertainment. And then Ben's like, yeah, sorry about all that. I'm like, sorry? Fuck you. I had so much fun. Now, I haven't been out in 2.5 years. So, I've been wearing sweatpants. This is the first time I put on sweatpants in forever outside of doing limo or hockey games. So I was feeling good. I'm there. I got to see Degi and I got to see Nardos. I'm wearing pants. I got a smoothie. I'm sitting on the stool with my little feet kicking. I got fat, skinny guy or little guy talking about how fat his girlfriend is. She's 5 feet away from the Bosnian Mafia. Oh, my God, this is incredible. I normally don't like awkward humor. This was so off the rails awkward. Holy shit. Oh, so good. Oh, you have to go to the next one. I'm gonna wipe the schedule clean if I can the next time Ben does open mic, and I just pray that all of these people are there. And honestly, I'm not like ripping on the comics like, hey, you suck shit or anything like that. My big thing is, okay, for the guy. Now, I don't want the little guy who made the fat jokes about his girlfriend to change anything ever. Okay, that was incredible. You're an absolute legend, whoever the fuck you are. But I think if it's constructive criticism, do not look at notes. Practice. Don't look at the notes anymore. Son of a bitch. Too much. All right, Degi will be here in 21 minutes to discuss it. But I wanted to get out in front of it and tell you my thoughts of it, and then I'll compare notes with him, and we'll see where this goes. Adam was really, really funny. It's tough to work a crowd like that, but he did it, so good for him, and good for those folks in the local comedy community for trying. It is not easy work. I don't envy you. I'm not saying I could do it. I'd probably. I don't know if I'd make jokes about my wife's physical characteristics right in front of her like that, but oh boy, her girlfriend. Okay, I would say pause in the action on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast, but it's more than a pause. The show is over. We got nothing more in the hopper. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thanks, folks. Bye-bye.